In Memphis, they're famous for singing the blues. And the blues capital has reason to be glum. The city ranks first in the nation in personal bankruptcies. 500 people a week walk into Memphis courtrooms seeking debt relief.
Motion docket for Chapter 13 matters. You've listed everything you own.
When I got into this mess, I knew that I could not live above my means, but it was too fun.
Sherry Elmore struggled with debt for years.
I wanted to wear and have what the Joneses had. And to do that, I had to have credit because we live from paycheck to paycheck.
Elmore is a state employee making $20,000 a year. She was carrying $7,000 in debt, and more than 70% of her debt was from credit cards.
And how many credit cards did you have?
About 8, at least 8. Almost all of these you can find a past due notice on.
Why did you have so many credit cards?
They were so easy to get, and I thought I could pay them. I thought I would pay them. I thought I would use them when I wanted them, when I needed them, and not when I wanted them.
Credit card applications filled Elmore's mailbox. Like Elmore, we all get dozens of card offers a year. Elmore had lots of cards, but could only pay the minimum on each.
And I would send $10. I would send $5. But it wasn't good enough, and it would never pay off anything.
Did you realize how much these minimum payments were costing you?
No, not really. I just saw the minimum payment, wrote them a check for $14 and sent it. And I said, that'll keep them hushed up till next month.
Just about everything went on Elmore's credit card. Groceries, vacations, and closets full of clothes.
Well, actually, a little outfit that I got for my little girl and paid about $70 for it. I probably still haven't paid it.
So with the interest they charged, do you realize how much this is costing?
Probably about 120 bucks, easy, easy. And I'm probably still paying for it.
Now we're in a situation where most of the people are spending money they don't have to make themselves feel good.
For more than 20 years, Dr. Tahira Hira, a consumer economist, has studied the psychological toll on those overwhelmed by debt.
Behind that person is years of family stress, mental, emotional relationship.
I was sad, stressful, my marriage, many financial fights, and no solutions at all.
Elmore finally solved her problems when she walked into a Memphis courtroom and declared Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Under federal law, all her debt disappeared.
And it was over just like that. But you have to be so far gone. You can't just automatically start over just because you think you can't pay a couple of bills. You have to be so far behind. It's a last resort. It was a last resort for me.
While a variety of reasons, including job loss, divorce, and unexpected medical bills, can land someone in bankruptcy court, credit card debt plays a role in 3 out of every 5 personal bankruptcies nationwide. Thomas Lehman with Visa USA says undisciplined buyers like Elmore cost lenders billions.
In 1997, over $44 billion was written off as a result of bankruptcies.
Visa and other lenders may have lost $44 billion last year, but they did nearly 10 times that amount in total credit card business.
No card in the world solves more needs than Visa.
Credit card lending is the most profitable banking activity, and it's relatively new to the financial scene. Consumer lending began in the 1920s, when your banker was likely a neighbor. He knew your name, where you went to church. He knew what you could afford. The first bank cards appeared after World War II. 30 years ago, credit card lending totaled just over $1 billion. That number now exceeds $425 billion.
Are we doing business differently?
We're doing business very differently. The people lending money are not sophisticated enough to really understand and really work with all the new techniques we have for giving people money. And the people borrowing the money are no more sophisticated. They're you and me, they're us. We grew up at a time when all we've ever known is that credit is available.
Judge Keith London has heard bankruptcy cases for 16 years.
If you came with me down to my courtroom right now and looked at the people who are in that room.
Trustee has no objection. Anyone want to be heard?
Nobody's happy. This isn't fun.
$1,138 in arrears.
There's this really large number of people in America today who are very, very fragile financially. We've got people borrowing money too easily and people lending money too easily.
And though you're getting tons of people coming in here and declaring bankruptcies, these companies lending credit are still doing very well.
They have figured out in the short run how to make enormous profits out of lending money to people who 10 or 15 or 20 years ago never would have been able to borrow money at this level. But after a while, it all comes home, and the way it comes home is you have to keep raising interest rates and fees and other things in order to keep the profit on these marginal borrowers up. But you reach a point where the curves all come together. And what happens at the end of that? Where do those folks go?
I saw it coming, and I could have stopped it, but I wasn't disciplined enough to stop it. I didn't make myself stop it.
Did you pay a price?
Yeah, I'm still paying it. For 10 years, I'll pay a price.
What do you mean for 10 years you pay a price?
Bankruptcy. For 10 years, I have no credit whatsoever.
10 years without credit, now forced to live within her means. Her monthly bills total
$2,400. We bring home $2,415. Wow. So we have $15 to play with. What if someone has to go in the hospital? What if a car accident happens and we're without transportation, or, you know, anything major like that? But we just kind of put it in the back of our mind and pray that it wouldn't happen.
But if prayer isn't the answer, maybe luck is. Contestants on this TV game show certainly hope so.
$400 off her debt.
We asked Dr. Hira to take a look at Lifetime's show, Debt.
Well, the country's in debt.
This is a fascinating commentary on our society, you know, that we just drown under the bills and we can all associate with it. We've made a game out of it.
The winning contestant's debt is wiped out.
But now you've got a big decision to make.
Here's the dilemma. Go home now debt-free, or gamble for quick cash and risk going back into debt.
If you go for it and miss, you lose everything.
Fascinating. You know, I am so scared watching her. If she said that she wants to have that money, I would not be too surprised. But I'm praying that she would say no to it. But certainly the people who have developed the game, they know our weaknesses, and they have made it very enticing for her.
You want to risk it all, go for the big payoff, or stop now and walk away with your bills paid off?
I'm going to stop now, Wink.
You are. You're going to take your $6,684.
Good for you. Good for you. The only answer is responsible behavior. And I would say responsible behavior as a borrower, responsible behavior as a lender.
I was as sad as it seemed like the singers and the blues artists are singing about. I was that sad.
So 20 years from now, what do you think when you'll think back to these 2 years? What will you remember?
A lot of bills for a lot of stuff that mean nothing.